First trial design, my approach has always been, if you're heading into a pivotal study, it's sort of your obligation, in my opinion, to never enter into a study like that without knowing how it's going to end. So the goal of the feasibility studies are threefold. One is to optimize the device. In my case, it's a device that that is used in a new therapy. So we had to optimize the device to where we felt it could perform the way it needed to in a large-scale study. We had to optimize the technique such that we knew we could train a single technique and get sort of a repeatable technique that would therefore move toward more repeatable results. Because any pivotal study is multiple centers, and now you've got that sort of scale factor, if you will. The third part is an important part, and that is that you should oversample. So you're in your early clinicals. You actually can't know everything that you need to look for. So I always look at it as a success if you're actually using about 20% of the data that you collected. So I like running very, very data-rich early studies because you're mining. You're mining for gems, you're mining for issues, and you have very few patients, so why not maximize the data collection in order to maximize your sort of like span of understanding. You will always get pushback that it's too much, that the clinical sites will say, no, this is too much, we need to pare it down. Any of your clinical research organizations will say it's too expensive to do, and I would just say find a way. There usually is a way to do it in an economical fashion and yet learn enough to be able to make good decisions moving forward. We essentially collected everything you could imagine in this field, and we did find some things out. One very interesting one ended up being what I think is going to be one of the major impactful aspects of the therapy, and that is, as it turns out, it's the only BPH procedure that preserves sexual function. We actually think that might be important to men. I think of early clinical study work as building sort of an ancient mosaic where there's a couple pieces here, one over there, one down here, and you're trying to form the picture. And it's really going broad with your data collection so that you can find the pieces that help describe the picture. You're not going to have enough to get a clear picture, but you should be able to get enough to where you're making a good decision moving forward. We went from really a 64-patient study that really entailed several device iterations and a few pretty important procedural iterations. We had to pool all that data and present it as the feasibility study, which is challenging because there is a lot of changing going on. We also went after a publication strategy where we tiered our publications so that we published on the first 19 patients, and we were able to essentially create that and this was our real first set, and then we published on the full 64, including those 19, but we were able to, with those two publications, show progress, if you will, and be able to make that distinction. And that helped us on the regulatory side as well, because those publications are peer-reviewed and they're sort of well-believed, if you will, and so it creates a nice storyline. I'd say that's one thing we've done that's a little different from a lot of companies is every patient that's ever been treated under a protocol is in a publication. And that will continue because we're truly building a story.